Alright guys, we're back and I have unlocked every single deck. So I'm going to go ahead and go through and let you guys see what I think needs to be in and needs to be removed from each deck individually. So Assault Strobe is a great card for this deck. It lets, big scary creatures that have Claws of Valakut deal a crap ton of damage. Lets this guy get out of control. I mean, it just lets creatures get out of control. These are the cards I have removed. I took out one Darksteel Axe because of the Assault Strobe. I feel like it's better. I mean, it's cool to have the +2/+0, but I think we only need one in the deck. Goblin Mountaineer. He's situational, so he's one of the cards I took out. These guys are terrible. Once again, they're just a wasted card. I think I put up a video of me kicking someone's ass that I got 2 of them out there, and if he would have had one more creature, one more spell, anything, he would have beat me. So, I mean, that was just dumb luck. I mean, they're just terrible cards, always. Koth, Courier, Forest Walk, Again, it's just kind of an iffy situation. It's probably worth playing if you see a lot of people playing Kiora's deck. Or if you're playing against someone that you know is playing Kiora's deck, it might be a good idea to do that, like if you're playing your buddy. He's a really good card. I just feel like you have to have something out turn 2, and this deck really doesn't have any 2-drop creatures. Or 3-drop creatures. I mean, it's got these 2 1-drop creatures, but they're kind of... I mean, they're good late game, but I feel like they're just not worth what they are. I took out 2 of these guys because we unlocked 2 bigger creatures. This guy's just huge. He's not worth playing whatsoever. He's just got a huge ass on him, and that's about it. And these guys, I feel like, are really good cards, but by the time turn 6 comes, they're going to have something out with 4 power, and they're just going to kill it. I mean, they're not going to let you swing 5 every turn, because he has to attack. They're just going to block him. Especially if you're playing Kiora's deck. There's going to be something bigger than him out there, and he's going to die. So, this card's better. It costs 2 more mana. This card's better. It costs the same amount of mana. And these cards are better, and they cost 1 less. So, Molten Phoenix is amazing. Probably one of the best cards in the deck. Flowstone Overseer, really good card. Just for the fact that he can kill creatures late game. I have these guys still in the deck because they are 3/3s for 4 mana that do destroy an artifact. And there are enough artifacts played between the various decks that he's good. And he's good in and of himself for being a 3/3 for 4 mana. I mean, granted, this is a 3/3 for 4 mana that has another ability. So, I mean, they're worth it. This is a good card to have in the deck because it's a board wipe in most situations. Against a smaller deck, you can pay the 4 mana. They reveal anything that has, against Gideon, they reveal anything that has more than 2 converted mana costs, and you're probably wiping his board. You're not doing a whole bunch of damage to him, but it's a good way to get rid of creatures. Self-explanatory. Once again, I feel like the rest of these cards are kind of obvious. And this is your Mountain Walk alternative to the other guys. This is +2/+2 Mountain Walk. And, it's good to use on the Spike Shot. It's good to use on pretty much any creature in the deck. And that's why I'd rather have those than these guys. These are obviously removal. They're great. This is a removal spell. And, that's about the gist of it for Koth's deck. So we're going to go ahead and back out. Let's go ahead and look at Nissa's. Give you guys a general idea of what I'm playing in here. I decided to keep one Elvish Eulogist in. I took out 2 of them. Just because they're one of those life gain cards. I mean, they are an elf. They're really good. It's just, they're one of the cards you hope you don't need to use. And, I don't think this plays enough elves that it's going to be relevant the turn that you need it to be. There aren't enough creatures with flying that have a 4 butt that is worth him being in the deck. Because Masticore is big. I mean, it's good against Jace's deck, but why Jace's deck? Why do we need to beat Jace's deck with this deck? Because this deck rapes it. It should rape it. It should be just as fast, if not faster, than Jace's deck. These guys are just 1/2s for one. I feel like he's better, as well as a Eulogist. I just feel like you don't need a turn 1 elf in this type of format. Plummet destroys a flying creature. Like I said, there aren't enough flying creatures that are threatening to you that you would need it. You've got this guy down here. Oh no, where is he? Oh, I might not have a creature that has reach. Doesn't matter. You have a ton of kill cards. So, I mean, why do you need to have one that's much weaker than the rest of yours? This guy is not good. Search your library for basic land card revealed and put it into your hand. I would rather have dies. You may search your library for basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped, than to search my library and put it into my hand. This guy, way too late game, and not as good. Excuse me, not as good as he should be late game. Paying 8 mana to give +5/+5. He's not worth the cost. He's 5 mana for a 3/3 elf. I would rather pay 4 mana for a heedless one that has trample. I mean, there are a lot of better cards than that. And this one's probably worth playing if you want it to, because it has flash, and flash means you can play it as an instant, and it gets +5/+5 and has trample. The thing you got to be careful with this card, though, if you're playing it, is you got to watch the deck that you're playing it against to make sure that they can't instantly kill the card that has it, that you're playing it on. Like, I feel like it doesn't fit into an elf deck, personally. I feel like an elf deck is meant to be tiny and not have a 6-cost enchantment in their deck. But like I said, you know, here are the 1 cost. You got the Visionaries to draw cards. This is Chosens to be good early attackers and blockers. These guys to be just straight swingers. Eyelight's Ending, kill card. Izuri is just a monster. +3 or pay 5 overrun. Good. Imperious Perfect is amazing in the deck. This guy's another heedless one for 1 mana. And he's the one that can kill creatures with flying. Maelstrom Pulse is another great removal if you go against someone like Cures deck that gets a whole bunch of Sapling tokens out. If you target 1 Sapling token, boom, they're all dead. It's also good in the mirror. If he gets heedless ones out before you, you can Maelstrom Pulse his. Or if he gets too many of a certain elf that you don't have, you can Maelstrom Pulse it. Titania is Chosen. Amazing. Whenever you play a green spell, put a +1/+1 counter on him. This one is one of the ones that destroys an artifact. And I feel like the artifact removal is so much more important than the enchantment removal here. Ugh, I'm talking too much. I can't keep up. But this card speaks for itself in an elf deck. Heedless one. Whenever you cast an elf, put a +1 or put a 1/1 elf out. And these guys are a bit expensive removal, but removal is so important in this type of format that you need it in there. And then lastly, I play him because he says late game that your opponent can't pull tricks on you. He says if you play, or if you hold 1 card in your hand, land or otherwise, I'm going to know what it is. So you either have to play it during your turn or discard it and let me get it. So it kind of says you can't have a hand. Makes your opponents go all the way down to nothing. But let's go ahead and go into Cures deck.